All right, here we go. It's a brand new Flyers Daily for the 27th of October, 2023. Flyers coming off a 6-2 win over the Minnesota Wild in a game that I termed in yesterday's pod had the potential for slippage coming home from a road trip. A road trip where they were out of the time zone. Played two pretty good games on that road trip against Dallas, coming back from 2 2-goal deficits in that game, ultimately losing in overtime. And then against Vegas, where they lost the game in the final 32 and a half seconds, 3-2, to the undefeated Cup champs. But they come back home after a travel day the day prior, long travel day, coming back from Vegas, and they take care of business against the Minnesota Wild in what was, pardon the pun, but a wildly entertaining game. First two periods, Flyers pretty much dominated Minnesota. Minnesota only had 13 shots through two periods of play, and the Flyers will go into the third period with a 3-0 lead. We'll get to that in just a second. Let me tell you about some of the particulars from the game. The Flyers outshoot the Wild 35-28. They out-hit the Wild 11-9 or 11-8. Not a lot of hits in this game. They did have a couple power plays, and they got a couple power play goals. One of the really important factors in this win is that they got a couple power play goals. They came into the game with the worst power play in the league, clicking at 5%. The only power play goal they had was a 5-on-3, which feels like months ago, but they get two in this game, and they're two big goals. The first goal of the game comes from Travis Konechny. Just an absolute snipe. Nick Seeler takes the puck up the left side of the ice, gets all kinds of open real estate, and just carries the puck into the Minnesota zone, drops it off for Konechny, and then you got a couple players crisscrossing. Minnesota Wild players. I think Konechny uses those players a little bit to disguise the release of the puck, and it's really difficult for Gustafsson to pick it up, and it's a beautiful shot over the high glove of Philip Gustafsson, gives the Flyers a 1-0 lead. Konechny also shading to his left on the left side of the ice as a right-hand shot makes that even a little bit more difficult for the goaltender, shooting away, moving and shooting away from his body. And Konechny, now 6 goals on the year. Boy, he's just picking up right where he left off last year. Nick Seeler picked up the assist. That's how we did in the first period. Flyers up 1-0. Pick it up in the second. Maybe you get a little pushback from Minnesota in the second period, but it's the Flyers with 2 power play goals in the period. First one comes at 7:28. Cam Atkinson gets a shot to the net. Sean Couturier's there. And Couturier's like an NBA center. He's boxing out the Minnesota defender. He's got the puck kind of in his feet. He corrals it, is able to eventually wrap it around on the backhand to beat Gustafsson. That's Couturier's first, I don't want to call it it's his first real goal since all the way back in December 10th of 2021. The other goal that he has this season was a penalty shot. So that's not necessarily it's a goal, but it's not a real goal, like a hockey goal, normal in the flow of play. But Couturier picks up the goal. You can see the emotion and the excitement that he had when he scored the goal. Cam Atkinson and Travis Sanheim pick up the assist. Flyers go up 2-0. Just a couple minutes later, 9:52 in the second period, Flyers once again on the power play. You draw penalties when you own the puck and you get teams chasing around. That's when you draw penalties, and Flyers do it here. And they go on the power play, and at 9:52, how about Bobby Brink gets his first NHL goal? And the Flyers, his puck kind of comes around the rim as Couturier tries to get it back to the point, hits off a skate, ends up coming to Brink in front, but he doesn't make any mistake about it. He doesn't panic with the puck. He just slides it underneath Philip Gustafsson, who's shocked that the puck turned over to the middle of the ice. These things happen. But Gustafsson, as that puck's coming around the wall, the natural inclination for a goalie in that spot is to lift up. They're on the PK. He's going to lift up. He's thinking the puck's going all the way out to the point on his blocker side. And you lift up because you want to start to look around, assess the situation, and find out where all your threats are positioned at that moment. And they're presumably, if it goes all the way around and out to the point, they're going to regroup and start working their power play from the middle, from the power play QB, if you will. In this case, Travis Sanheim. So he lifts up, and then when that puck deflects and comes right back out front, he's up. He's not down in his crouch position. So the shot there for Bobby Brink, and he uses it, is right along the ice because the goaltender doesn't got to get down set and then get down to cover the lower third of the net. He doesn't do it. Flyers go up 3-0. Brink's first in the NHL, assisted by Sean Couturier and Cam Atkinson. So Couturier, a goal and an assist, both on the power play. Cam Atkinson, 2 assists, both on the power play. We'll take it. Flyers go into the third period up 3-0. Can't have any letdown, though. Beginning of the third period, 3:05 in. Minnesota gets on the board. They make it 3-1. And then Marcus Foligno at 4:30 makes it 3-2. And you're going, oh, no, uh-oh. Here we go again with what happened in Vegas, albeit a different type of game. But the Flyers at 3-2 grab control of the game as Owen Tippett gets a nice pass from Cam Atkinson off a Kirill Kaprizov turnover and goes in all alone on Philip Gustafsson. Doesn't try any deke, doesn't try and get fancy. That's not Owen Tippett. He goes in and just beats him with the shot. So Tippett gives the Flyers the 4-2 lead. Then at 11:02, Bobby Brink just driving hard to the net. Joel Farabee sends a perfect pass to him, and Brink just has his stick there, redirects it, gets his second goal of the game, second goal in the NHL, all against the team that he grew up being a fan of, being from Minnesota. So Brink gets the second, and that's kind of a return the favor set up from Joel Farabee. He's been set up by Brink a few times, right on the edge of the crease. This time, Joel Farabee sets up Bobby Brink driving the net. Sanheim picks up yet another point. Well, he's been unbelievable. He had 21 minutes or 27 minutes through two periods of play. Just an unbelievable, or 27 minutes in the entire game, 20 minutes through 2 periods of play. I had it right the first time. And speaking of Travis Sanheim, he rounds out the scoring. Flyers up 5-2 at 14:46. Sanheim gets a puck right in the middle of the ice, right in the slot, fires it, beats Gustafsson, his first of the season. He's been piling up points. He's leading the NHL in average time on ice. He has been unbelievably good, just playing much more aggressive and decisive on the ice. Forster and Konechny pick up the assist. Final score, Flyers 6, the Minnesota Wild 2. In yesterday's episode, I talked about this. In their previous 6 games, the Minnesota Wild had 2 games where they gave up 7 goals, and they had 1 game where they scored 7 goals in just their first 6 games. They gave up 6 again here. That team's got to get their defense together, or they're not going to go anywhere. They were 4th going into the game in goals allowed per games played at 4.16, and obviously that's going up. So after the game, I had a chance to catch up with Flyers winger Cam Atkinson. He maybe flew under the radar in this game. You know, a couple power play goals, Couturier, Brink obviously gets 2, Konechny again, but with 3 assists in the game, I had a chance to catch up with Cam Atkinson. It is Flyers Daily, and joining us post-game, 3 assists on the night is Flyers winger Cam Atkinson. Felt good to get that power play going, didn't it?
Yeah, you know, it's amazing what happens when you shoot the puck, right? I think sometimes we're trying to force a little bit, and I'm out there to shoot the puck, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to shoot the puck, and good things happen, and Coutu was in front and kind of got, you know, a nice goal there, and just gives us a little bit of confidence, and then we're able to get another one.
You guys, the power play hasn't looked bad. It's generated good chances and maybe some momentum at times, but to get the end result, I think means a ton, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you can get momentum, which is great, but at the end of the day, we got to start scoring goals, and that's going to be the difference between winning and losing games. Plain and simple, especially as we keep going here and building. So it's good to, you know, get the monkey off the back.
Cam, the way this game ends up playing out, they come back in the third period, they get within a goal. You guys are up 3-0 and make it 3-2. But the way you guys answered after they made it 3-2 probably is the resounding, you know, takeaway from this game.
Yeah, they're a good team, you know, so we knew that they were going to fight to the end, and they kind of gained a little bit of momentum there, and which had to kind of, I don't know if we kind of, you know, we're on our heels a little bit, but as soon as we got on our toes, like we played the first couple periods, you know, I think we dictated the play and got opportunities and scored goals.
Cam, sometimes the makeup of a team is really important in the sense that you have guys, you have veteran players, you have young players, you have guys in that middle like Owen Tippett, and, you know, on your back end, Cam York. To have all of them kind of contributing in different ways for the team, and Brink getting his first 2 goals, that means a huge, you know, thing for all of you guys to be working so well together as units.
Yeah, I mean, I said from day one, you know, we're going to have to score by committee here, right? And I think everyone's contributing in their own way, and guys are getting on the score sheet and feeling good about themselves. And it's nice to be back in the lineup and feeling good. You know, you sprinkle in some veteran guys like me and Coots to help out Lottie, and, you know, Sandy and TK, and you know, all these young guys that are coming up and showed what they could do last year, and they're taking another step forward. You know, we're a good club. We know it, and we're going to continue to build and grow and, you know, play well.
Congrats on the win. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, brother.
All right, there he is, Flyers forward Cam Atkinson. And just like Couturier, Atkinson looks really dialed in. his game looks good. It doesn't look like it's rusty. He's initiating contact on the walls, in front of the net. He's decisive in getting pucks to the net. He's basically being Cam Atkinson. That's what he's doing. But with all that said, 2 power play goals. Konechny scores again. Brink gets his first 2. The biggest element that I think comes out of this game for 2 elements. Number one is they didn't have the slippage coming back from Las Vegas and coming back from an out-of-time zone road trip. That is a good thing. First 2 periods really had control of the game. That's number one. But the bigger factor here and the biggest takeaway from this game for me is this, is that they were up 3-0 going into the third period, seemingly in total control of the game. Then all of a sudden, Minnesota scores 2 goals. Now it's a 3-2 game. And you can, momentum. We talk about it all the time. You got to get momentum, and then you got to capitalize on your momentum. Minnesota had it. But then the Flyers made a play. They forced a turnover. I know when Tippett got the breakaway off the pass from Cam Atkinson, and that put the Flyers back up by 2, and then they piled a couple more on. But it was the fact that the bench didn't panic when it got to be 3-2. It's the fact that these things are going to happen in hockey or in sports where you're going to lose momentum and the other team's going to look like they're coming back and they're going to take it from you. It's how you react. And the way the Flyers reacted in that moment is, to me, the biggest takeaway. They didn't panic. They didn't go into a shell and start playing safe. They kept to their system, their structure, and eventually got another goal, got back up to 2-goal lead, and then poured on a couple of more and really just dominated the game through the final 11 minutes of the third period. So that is a very good sign. The team's 4-2-1. I don't know where this is all leading with this team. I don't. It does look exceedingly different than last year. And it's not just because maybe they're scoring more goals. They're getting more. They have more offensive firepower. They're defending better. They're defending less. To me, they just look like a better team. Their structure in the neutral zone and the D zone is excellent. It's excellent. You see block shots and passes getting knocked down because sticks are in the lane a lot with this Flyers team. The only way you can block shots and have active sticks that knock down passes and shots and those kind of things is if you're in the right position. You can't knock down a pass if you're not in the right position to defend it. And that's what the Flyers are doing. Their forecheck looked, I thought Noah Cates in the first 2 periods of the game, his forecheck was relentless. And it was just hemming Minnesota in. Eventually warmed down. But being in the right positional places on the ice when defending allows you to have an active stick and have it make a difference. Allows you to be in the right spot to block a shot or just deny the shot attempt because of where you're located. And it's not just if the puck's at the point, it's not just the winger on that D-man. It's also where the other guys are located in the 5-man unit structure. Because if the other guys are in the right spots, there's not many places for the guy to go to release the pressure that's on him, whether that's on the half wall, down below the goal line, whether that's at the high point along the wall or high point middle, all those things. If everybody else is doing their job, then the guy pressuring the puck is so much more effective because it's not just an easy get out of jail free card to a guy that's not being covered properly because the play's not near him. Five-man defensive unit in hockey is everyone does their own job. And right now we're seeing a lot of guys doing their job and therefore not defending that much, getting out of their zone much quicker, getting up the ice. The way they're playing on the forecheck and the way that they're in the offensive zone much more makes them defend less. But when they have defended, they've defended a lot more effectively. And that's a reason why things look a little bit different than they did a year ago. Having Sean Couturier, Cam Atkinson back, that helps. Travis Sanheim, the way he's playing, definitely helps. Having guys like Noah Cates and having Travis Konechny and Scott Lawton, all these guys, even Bobby Brink, the way he defends, he knows where to be. And then you see these offensive elements come out because you're not defending as much. And you see this spread, score by committee. Cam Atkinson talked about it in the interview. They're a team that's going to have to score by committee Minnesota came into the game with 4 guys over a point per game. Flyers went into that game with 1 guy, Travis Konechny. They've got a couple now, but you're a difficult team to slow down when you can get scoring from all over the lineup. Really good to see Owen Tippett get a goal too. What's interesting about Tippett is he's one of those scorers that when he scores, he can score a lot. He gets streaky. He's a shooting, streaky scorer. He gets that goal for his first of the season. But in all the games prior to that, he's shown a real good ability to distribute the puck, stretch the ice by passing the puck, and defend well. So even if when he wasn't scoring goals prior to last night, he was a net very positive player. He wasn't, one of those guys that go, if you're in a lineup, you got to be scoring or you're not, doing your job or you're a net negative player. He was net positive without scoring. If you can get on a little bit of a heater now scoring, Flyers will be better for it. All right, 6-2. That's the final. Flyers are back in action tomorrow, 1 o'clock to take on the Anaheim Ducks. We'll preview it coming up tomorrow in a brand new episode of Flyers Daily. Enjoy your Friday.